Hello, everyone. Welcome. You guys are here for the career workshop by Frontera devs. Kind of gauge kind of what level you guys are at. How many of y'all are freshmen or sophomores? Okay. Juniors and seniors? Okay. Cool. Not sure? Cool.
I think so.
Is everyone here CS? We have engineering, like the engineering disciplines, we have one. Any electrical? No? Okay. What do you guys have any questions before we start? That way you kind of want to have us answer?
How are we gonna go about this? You're just gonna come to each one of us and.
So we are essentially going to go through a slide deck.
Okay.
So you guys kind of get an idea of what we're going to be suggesting. And then after that, we plan on having two kind of sections. One of getting people to start on a LinkedIn. If you guys don't have that, how many of you have a LinkedIn? It looks like most people. And if you guys don't have a LinkedIn, we'll get you on that. If you guys have a resume, you all have resumes already kind of laid out? No? So if you guys don't or you do, we'll get a little group. Here for your workshop?
Yeah.
Cool. Computer science?
Yeah.
Alright. So, can you get started?
Alright, everyone, let's get pumped up. Let's get the career workshop.
Yes,
So we need the energy up right now.
Yeah, so we just want to get you guys going this semester. Have you guys applied to any internships already?
Yeah.
No.
We're willing to apply. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna cover that. Yes, so we're going to share a few resources, including a GitHub repo with a ton of applications for company websites where you can apply. So my name is Joe Fred. I'm a computer science student. I'm in my third year. I've done research for one summer at Texas State University on machine learning and health performance. This is Art.
Hello, my name is Arturo Mesa. I'm also in computer science. I'm a senior. I've done a little bit of research here on campus, and I also have a job also here on campus doing some software stuff. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Jorge Luis Gonzalez. I'm a junior in computer science. I do PLTL for computer science too. You might not know me, you might do. Anyways, let's get on with it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with resume building, which is, from what I hear, the most important or the most talked about topic when it comes to applying to internships, right? Everybody wants to know, what should I put in it? How do I build one? How do I start one? What's important, what's not? I'm here to tell you that I've talked to a lot of different sources, including recruiters and including students that have gotten internships, and they all kind of say different things, right? Which is not a bad thing. You just gotta have to know what the job that we're applying for is looking for and how we can pitch ourselves, right? I think a lot of the times we tend to undervalue the accomplishments that we have, whether that's like a school project or like a project that you did for class that you don't think is that great. Recruiters, a lot of the time, they're not going to be like dazzled by your project because they're entry level, right? And they know that. They're not looking necessarily for you to reinvent the wheel. They just want to know that you are actually doing something, you're active in your education. So some of the, I was talking about how there are certain things that everybody thinks on differently, but there are certain non-negotiables that you kind of do have to adhere to. So one of the big things is this format. This is a very standard format. If you start to deviate from this too much, you're gonna stand out in not the way that you want to. So just stick to this format of you have your name at the top, your number, your email, maybe a LinkedIn, maybe a GitHub. You don't need to put your address. I've seen some people put address. You don't need to put your address. Then you have this sort of section and your body, time and date, for all of these, right? You can see that there's use of bolding, there's italics, there's bullet points. These are all things that are really important that make your resume more easy to read. Remember that recruiters are only going to look at the resume your resume for like 30 seconds maybe, right? They're not gonna look through all your projects. They're not gonna look through like your education or your work experience, which is good in a way because we can sort of tailor what we want them to see, right? So don't like necessarily lie about what you're doing, about what the projects are, but you can hype them up, right? You can write them in a way that is makes you look good. And some of the things that you can use to achieve that is the use of action words. So action words are like things like developed, engineered, led, implemented, optimized, like what you did, right? And the second bullet point, I see a lot of people just put like sort of what their project is about. You don't want to just do that. You want to say like how and why you did it, right? So when we talk about how, like, did you have to read a lot of documentation to learn about what this topic was? Did you have to work in a team? Were you working alone? And why? This can be things like to help, right? Like I talked to a Google recruiter once, and sort of what they told me is that they want to see you do something good for the community, right? So maybe make something with the intent of helping a group of people, or maybe do it with the intent of creating software that is available to people or to teach, things like that. What did you gain from this experience, right? Well, what did you learn? Did you learn to work in teams? Did you learn to work alone? And some of the things that you can use to bolster your resume is quantifying your impact. So things like boosted customer retention by 25%, right? Like showing hard statistics, showing numbers, showing things that can be corroborated with like an employer. These are things that like make you look better. I have a little like activity here. Let me see if I can. Like if I think it's like just like too low on the thing, but I can pull it up here. So this is just like a random job posting that I found. On like Indeed for some random company on software engineering. So the most important thing about your resume is catering it towards a specific job application or a job posting, right? So I know there's like the shotgun technique and there's also like the rifle technique. You can apply to like a variety of companies. That's like not a bad thing, but have a few selected that you like really want to get into and cater your resume to that specific application and that specific company. So this might take a little bit of time to do, but it will help you sort of get your foot in the door. A lot of the times what companies do to speed up the recruiting process is that they use software to filter out a lot of resumes. So if your resume doesn't include some of the key things that they're looking for, then it's just gonna get filtered out and it's not even gonna be seen by a real human. So here are some of the things that we can do, right? So we have this introduction to the job. This is just like the job description. Yeah. So right here, the thing that pops out to me, software quality assurance, right? This is gonna tell me that they're gonna do a lot of testing. And sure enough, the next sentence, test plan specifications. And that is also gonna tell me like agile in my head, right? Like agile development process, lots of testing.
How many of y'all know what agile is? Agile is basically a process to engineer software. So there's different ways you can make software. To do it in an organized manner, use agile. We can go into that later, but for now, I'll leave it at that. I hope that
Does that give a good kind of idea of what Agile might be?
Yeah, it's just to like speed up the process. They used to use like a thing called Cascade, where it was like, just kind of like the first section was done, and then it would go to the next section, and then the next section. But Agile is just a way to like speed up that process, and sort of work on things simultaneously. But I know Agile uses a lot of test plans, right? So I can sort of go into my own resume, and if I can edit it, open a template. Can you look at it? Oh. Logan.
Just like
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
We'll go over this near the end. That way we don't keep you with it.
But sort of the thing that I was going to mention is that you can also go into the company. Like you can look up the company. Just look up the company name, mission statement, and usually the first result will lead you to something like this, like unlocking the potential of people and society by pushing technology to new limits. Pretty standard sort of mission statement. But what you can do here in your resume is, let me move this down. You can go down to your projects and here put a bullet point that says utilized agile development process to collaborate with the team to get a project done, right? Or under experience, you can say like, there's like some, if you've done any research, then you can say like, developed our API using Fast API and Postgres, store learning management systems to develop the field further, or to innovate the field, things like that. These are all things that are going to help you. So going back into our slides. So that's like your resume and like sort of like the first step that you need to apply to an internship. If they like you, they're gonna send you an email saying, "Hey, we want to interview you," which is like the second step of getting an internship or like a position anywhere. So the very most important thing when it comes to interviews is treating the person interviewing you like a human being, right? Like don't stress about it too hard. Like you're just another human on the other side of the computer. They don't want for you to fail. They want you to succeed. So use them to your advantage, right? Like ask questions. If you don't understand if you don't understand the question that they're asking you, then ask questions back to them so you can get a better understanding of what you are trying to do. The second part is talking through your thought process. This is very important. Like when you start solving the question that they give you, just say out loud the things that you are thinking about while you are writing or while you are like planning your question. Because they want to see your thought process. They want to see how you handle a question that you might not know the answer to. They want to see you break the problem down and sort of segment it and like attack those parts individually, right? The other thing that is like going to help you out a lot is look up basic interview questions like FISBUS and TUSUM. I've heard a lot of really like prestigious sort of internships or like first internships that a lot of everybody wants, like Amazon and Facebook. They use like these very simple questions to test people, because it filters out like the people that just applied and don't actually know how to code, versus like the people that like actually know how to code, right? So look them up, make sure you're very good at them, and you can even like I know for TUSUM you can do like a hash map, right? So things like that, like learn some more advanced way of solving a very easy problem, and that's gonna like impress your recruiter. The other thing that you can do is review data structures and algorithms as well as runtime. Has anybody taken computer science 3 here? Data structures and algorithms. Has anybody taken it?
Yes, I learned too.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, it's a very important class. It's maybe at least top 3 most important classes that you're going to take, because it applies to everything, right? Like anywhere that you're going to code, you're probably going to use a data structure. You're probably going to use an algorithm. You're probably going to use runtime in some sort of way. So pay attention to those classes. Review the topics that they go over in the class, and if you haven't taken it, start learning, right? Like get ahead. It's going to help you once you take it, and it's going to help you once you apply to these internships. So a quick technique, or like a quick sort of fix-all study process is ChatGPT. You can just go on ChatGPT and ask it about the different, literally just type in like, tell me about data structures, tell me about algorithms, tell me about runtimes. And you can have it explained to you in like a very easy to understand way, or like you can ask it to use maybe like analogies or things like that to help you get that understanding. And then lastly is just practice, right? Get together with a friend and ask them, hey, like ask me a question and pretend that you're like interviewing me for this position, and just go from there. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so here on the left side, you can see two different kind of formats you can use whenever you do these interviews. So for a behavioral interview, you can use the STAR method. Have any of you guys heard of the STAR method? If not, have any of you guys gone to any of the conferences by any chance, like SHIP, SWE, CodePath, Color Stack? So these conferences usually have recruiters there where they offer interviews. And if you do have one of those interviews, chances are they're going to start with a behavioral interview. You might start out with the phone screen prior to that behavioral. After the behavioral, you'll do a technical. For the behavioral, the STAR method is a pretty good concept to have in mind whenever you're answering questions, because you want to answer it straight to the point. The way you do that is you want to assess the situation, the task, the action, and the result that you took in order to solve a problem wherever you were working. So if you had a project, if you guys can think of a project that you guys had in the past in a class or outside of school, you can consider the situation you were in. If you were working with someone, maybe you were trying to implement a new feature and the other person, neither of you knew what to do with with those features, like how to actually implement it. So what you did in the action, you want to spend most of your time talking about the action, is you essentially went to go talk to someone who knew about that problem. It's maybe a professor, maybe an upperclassman student that knows how to integrate that feature or implement that feature. And you want to kind of show the results. Usually you want to use a metric or something like that. Maybe you improved the runtime of your program, or maybe you were able to deploy it to X amount of users, or you presented it to a class. So you can go through those steps for the behavioral part of the interview. For the technical interview, umpire is the other method that is a method you can use for that. Have any of you guys solved LeetCode or tried solving a LeetCode problem? So we have a few people shaking their heads. When you solve a LeetCode problem, you want to make sure you understand the problem. Usually at this point in the actual interview, you want to ask the interviewer, or you want to kind of reiterate the question to them just to make sure you understood it correctly. That way, if you did miss something, they can kind of clarify it for you. And once you have a bit more experience solving these problems, you solved a few and you have a few under your belt, you can usually match kind of like the pattern of what the problem requires. So maybe you know a certain data structure that helps you solve that problem. So you want to learn how to match. Usually this comes later on. So if you're just starting out, you want to understand the problem, then you want to kind of plan it out in front of them. You can, since it's usually on a computer, right, you can just comment, make lines of comments, and then just kind of write down your idea of how you would do it. And then you want to implement it, of course. After you implement it, before you even run it, you want to revise it, that way you're not just running code blindly, you're actually checking your work. And then you can evaluate it. Usually this is when you assess how fast it's running, runtime, big O. So those are the two pretty important processes you want to follow whenever you have a technical interview or a behavioral interview. Right. So the application season already started, if you guys were not aware. Applications have been open since June, actually. Right here it says July, but a lot of top companies like Google have been hiring since June. So the positions are posted on third-party websites aside from the actual company website. Handshake and LinkedIn are good resources. Handshake is actually pretty tailored towards students. You can actually be reached out from a recruiter. It's not very one-on-one, but you can hear about events or job opportunities through there. And usually you want to start drafting the list of companies you want now, not later, like just have an idea of what you want, look at companies. I like to follow a lot of people on Instagram, kind of just not necessarily influencers, but people in the industry that kind of share tips. I have one guy, if you guys want to write down his name is Zero to Pseudo. He actually made a community on Discord last December, and he was posting projects kind of on there for students to do. He's currently, I'm not sure exactly what he does. I know he works alongside people who are quants. If you guys know what that is, they make a nice living. And yeah, you want to join the communities that you can, either online or here at the university. So you can do that by already just looking at what there is out there. That will also help you understand what type of job you might like. So like you can see here, there's also overlap. So July, November is when companies start hiring as well. So a lot of them hire on a rolling basis. As soon as you apply, they're already looking for students, and they start reaching out with online assessments first. Do you guys know what an online assessment is by any chance? No one's taken one? So they're basically like the programming interviews, like in person, but no, it's just proctored by some automated system. They're usually not too difficult. The actual technical interview with the interviewer is a bit more difficult, but it's basically just like a screener. And yeah, after that, they usually give you an interview and they follow up with a few next steps. But until you can like solidify your ability to pass the online assessments, I wouldn't worry about the rest. To get to actually understanding what these interviews are like, or maybe getting an interview, I recommend attending the career expos. I know we have one here at the university, both in the fall and the spring. I'm not too sure about the dates, but I think it's going to be in October for this semester. If anyone finds a date, please shout it out. So there's also SHIP and SWE, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers and Society of Women Engineers. Anyone heard of those? So what can you tell me about that? What do you know about it? Yeah, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. Have you attended any of their events? No? They actually have an event going on right now, working on resumes. So if you guys already have a resume and feel like I'm already covering a lot of the stuff that you know, feel free to get your stuff done over there. But we're just trying to get you guys going. So SHIP and SWE are both student orgs here at the university, but there's national conventions that they host every year. And at these national conventions, hundreds of companies attend, essentially hosting workshops and also giving out interviews and internships, along with full-time opportunities. So I won't go too into depth in that. I can talk about that for a nice minute, but I'll let you guys ask about that later if that interests you. So there's 3 different internships and job posting types. There's freshman opportunities, full-time, junior, and rotational hire type things. Rotational hire, I'll leave that for later, since it's mostly I think here we mostly have sophomores and juniors. Freshman and sophomore programs I recommend doing are applying at least Microsoft Explorer, Facebook University, and Google Step. So you guys feel like you guys have a understanding of the actual hard skills, actually programming. Maybe you already built an app or you have some project going on. I recommend applying to those. Do you guys have any questions? Any thoughts? All right. So kind of going on the same note, here are a few types of internships or careers you can pursue. Do any of these interest y'all? Machine learning. Yeah, so there's a lot of machine learning research going on here at the university. If you guys are interested, I recommend talking to your professors or lecturers. I know we have Dr. Enriquez, Dr. Gao, Dr. Zhang, all doing machine learning research. So that interests you, I recommend joining them. Anyone here interested in cybersecurity, software engineering, Maybe if you're even just leaning towards it. What's up? Web development? Okay. I'll have a resource for you if you're interested. Cool. Yeah, talk to me after, and I'll give you a resource so you can kind of learn. You already have a project by any chance? Cool. I'll put you on something. I'll put you on. So yeah, you guys have any questions? Feel free to ask at any moment.
Alrighty, I'm gonna be taking over from the rest of the few slides. So we're gonna start talking about the portfolio. We already know, we already talked about resumes and stuff. Let's talk about portfolios. What is a portfolio? Portfolio is a collection of projects that showcase your coding ability. Now, I understand we're all in computer science, getting degrees, and you know, it's important to have our degree when we're applying to computer science jobs and internships. Although, just think about it like this: like those other 100 applicants that applied to that same job, they got the same bachelor degree. So what are you supposed to do, huh? Prove yourself. So let me show you. Yeah. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to show you an example of a portfolio website. As you can see right here, it's real organized and it's super pretty, and it's not just like a piece of paper and a resume, right? We'll go over like how they're going to show off their projects right now. Check this out. So you see how it's like super organized, super pretty, with their own website. It's real cool. Right? All right, check this out. She got her own photo right here. Has a little description. Super organized. Check this out. Gives off the goals and motivations. Now, we don't sound like a robot here. We got motivations and goals. We sound human. It's cool. Recruiter knows that there's a human, not a robot. Fine. And here's the resume. All organized, all in one. So the recruiter ain't clicking on so many PDFs and stuff. It's right here. All in one. Perfect. Right? Anyways, let's move on. Let's see here. All right, show of hands. How many of y'all have GitHub? You've heard of it? All right, sweet. Pretty nice. Nice. So GitHub. Okay, I was gonna explain to the students who didn't have a GitHub. Anyways, let's move on. GitHub is super important. We know that. It shows off all your projects. And as we know, you gotta know something real crucial. Check this out real quick. You see how the profile has a picture of the person and not like an anime character or something? Like, I know it's just kind of silly to just put anything because it's a Replit, or I mean a GitHub. It's just for coding. Who cares? The companies do care. That's how they're gonna take you seriously. You got the real legal name. You got their little face right there, beautiful face. You can see the code that they use. It's perfect. This is how recruiters are gonna take you seriously. All right. And so it's real important with GitHub to be real active. You got showing that you're contributing multiple times a day or a week is super impressive. They're gonna be like, wow, this guy's on the ball. That's awesome, right? Check this out. I'd be lying if I'd say this is mine. It's not. That's silly. But look, you see how it's super green? This is what we're aiming for. This is what everyone wants to have their GitHub to look like. That's what we want, right? Right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do it. That's how we're gonna do it. That's what we're gonna be. We're gonna stand out from the crowd. 100 apply. Anyways, so what we want to do is we want to be creative with our projects, you know? We want to show that, oh, oopsie. Okay. We want to show like, hey, we're able to, it's like a long project and you've worked with teams alongside with you, and you're showing like, hey, I'm responsible. You want to make sure that your portfolio is updated, make your project creative. You want to focus on quality projects rather than quantitative. I mean, your recruiter is going to look at your GitHub or your portfolio, and they're going to look at this. They're going to be like, small projects, I've seen that on YouTube. What do I care? They don't care about people who like know the answer. They care about people who are responsible. They care about people who know like what they're doing. You know, we're able to know, hey, this guy knows. We could put him in a team and he could work right? Can't keep it updated. Don't put too many projects. Make sure to show the journey and show these guys you know what you're doing. So those are your do's and don'ts. Now, networking is super important. Make sure, I know my buddies right here, Joe Fred and Arturo just mentioned a few conventions so far, like SHIP, O4U, SWE. Those are some of the conferences. It's super important because you can meet a lot of students. You can meet a lot of students there with the same interests, or most importantly, your recruiters, right? Those recruiters are those people that you need to talk to, and you want to make sure you connect with them and sound like, hey, you're not just a piece of paper in front of them. Like you're not giving them a paper just saying a bunch of words. Like, what do I care, right? You want to like talk. You want to talk to a person, a real life person. Anyways, you want to ask questions and keep in contact with these guys. Let them know, hey, I want this job. Like, oh, hey, you know, I saw that this company is doing this now. Like, I like the direction you're going. It's nice. Oh yeah, what did you do? Anyways, just follow up. Give as much as you can. Show them that you're interested, because when you show them you're interested, they're gonna tell the boss, hey, I like this guy. I know him. Anyways, check these out. Check these conventions out. Make sure to go to them, maybe. And yeah, next slide. Oh, go for it.
So a few of these opportunities are specifically geared towards certain demographics. Of course, SHIP is Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. If you're Hispanic, I recommend trying to go to that. This year I'm going, and I know a few people here like Jerry, Hector, Gabe, myself, Art. Anyone else going to SHIP? Cool. What's your name? Nice to meet you, Angel. Yeah, so SHIP this year is going to be in California, Anaheim. It usually comes around to $1,000. This year, I'm estimating it's going to be around $900 for myself. The three main things you want to look into when trying to go to a conference, just for next year. This year, you can still go. It's open, but the prices are pretty high right now. Plane, room, the actual convention ticket, they all usually come out to around $1,000. So right now, I know the SHIP convention ticket is around $300. SWE, I'm guessing it's around the same thing. SWE this year is going to be in Chicago. Color Stack is another conference, which I believe takes place online. And this is another conference taking place online. This is a recent one I recently discovered through codepath.org. I applied to a program so that I can do lead code practice with them. And essentially they have a career fair based, or like purely for the students that went through that pipeline. So if you guys look out for programs like CodePath, you guys might be able to find a few more opportunities to network and apply to jobs or get internships. So they usually take place around October. So this one over here, SHIP, is October 30th through the 3rd of November. Out for undergrad, O4U is targeted towards people of the LGBTQ community. So if you guys are a part of that or are interested, we have a representative here at the university. Actually, his name is Juan Manuel. If you guys want to reach out to him, feel free to ask me and I can put you in contact. That one is actually taking place, I think, this weekend. October the 25th.
And they also have they take place at different times in different locations. So I think this time the engineering one is in Michigan, and then the digital one is going to be in New York. And the thing about O4U is they are selective for competitive because they completely cover the cost of everything. So your ticket is covered, your flights are covered, your hotel is covered, and all that is just to bring opportunity to the queer community.
That's Cass, by the way. She's the one who kind of coordinated all of this. She's the president of Frontera Devs too. So in case you guys are wondering. So student orgs, I'll let George start this one up.
All right, y'all. Final stretch. Make sure y'all go to the conferences. Okay. lastly, we want to talk about student orgs. Not only are they, good for your resumes, but you meet a lot of people with the same interests. I joined Frontera Devs because I enjoyed helping people in the community. That's why I became a PLTO leader. I just really like helping people in computer science. I saw myself in that freshman year of college, just struggling, and I failed my first CS1 class. Anyways, enough yapping. So after that, anyways, that's why I joined the organization. And there's multiple reasons why a lot of people could join an organization like Frontera Devs, help a lot of other computer science students, right? And let's say you want to work with hardware, work with IEEE, and let's see, rocket launchers. Yeah, with rocket launchers. You want to work on projects, you can go to there. You gain experience. Employees will value. You learn skills. You work with a lot of people. You organize events. Have fun, right? Sometimes you get free pizza in the workshops. Anyways, so be sure to check out the organizations that you'd like to try to join. Mention SHIP and all these other ones. It's importantly Frontera Devs. And that should be it.
I'll add to that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so joining student orgs, you get to meet a lot of upperclassmen. They can give you tips on what classes to take, what professors are the ones that really get you into the topic. Because I know some professors might teach just to teach, and they won't really get you interested in the actual subject. So you can do that apart from just the actual project. Do any of you all have any student organizations you're kind of passionate about? No? Any student organizations that you're just a part of? Damn, I just found out that my bro over here, Ryan, isn't passionate about rocket launchers. No. You want to share a bit about what you've kind of what you've learned, what you've kind of gained from rocket launchers?
Okay. Hello, guys. My name is Ryan Martinez. I am part of Rocket Launchers. I'm part of the software end of it, the telemetry team. I'm a freshman this year, so going into it, I'm getting insight on what I should do, like what could help me just get that head start because there's a lot of us here. So I don't know if you want to talk about the Odin.
Yeah. So you did some Odin project
Yeah.
work. So there's a website that has basically a web dev course that you can do for free. It's called the Odin Project. That's what I was going to recommend to you. Have you heard of it? No, you can sit down. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm actually a lead in the software part of the rocket launchers. I'm working on the on-flight computer that basically gives us a telemetry. So if you guys are interested in that too, I recommend joining. I can give you some tips. So yeah, there's the rocket launchers. There's Frontera Devs. If you guys want to do work as leadership work, we also have technical workshops. The application just closed this, I think, week or last week. But if you guys keep an eye out, if you guys are interested. There's also other organizations like IEEE. They do some technical work. If you guys are interested in kind of hardware, I'm pretty sure they'd appreciate some software people over there too. There's also Via Game Devs. They recently had a hackathon this weekend from Friday to Sunday, which is a crazy marathon. You want to talk about that? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, we already talked a little bit. Did we talk about hackathons? Well, hackathons are usually 24 to 48 hours or even longer events where people make software, right? So sometimes there's pictures of us here at our own hackathon. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, Value Games game devs just had one this past weekend. We were there. I was up for 40 hours just coding. But it's worth it because of the experiences. I met a lot of people there. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't slept in. I got first place, so it was worth it. Um, yeah, game development is also another career path if you guys are interested in in that. you can talk to me about it. I'm like really passionate about it. Um, yes, I'm also a vice president of another student organization here on campus, the SAA. There's actually a meeting going on right now, which I couldn't be at, but we have weekly meetings actually, so it's okay. So yeah, Tuesdays at 5 in the math building, we get together and we go over lead code style questions or actual lead code questions. And as we were talking about, that's going to help you a lot with your interview skills. It's going to help you a lot with your problem solving skills. You're also going to be able to like network there and like get advice from people that know a little bit more about coding, right? So yeah, that's one of our weekly meetings. We're also probably going to start having another weekly meeting on Thursdays, perhaps, where we will get together and you can find other people that are interested in some of the same topics as you are, and you can make a project with them, right? And we just sort of give you a space to be able to collaborate with others and be able to interact with others that, you know, maybe they're not working on your project, but they maybe have some advice for you. And yeah. So
So you guys can just fill out this survey just to get an idea of what you guys thought. You also appreciate shout outs. We want to say anything or complain about everything. Like reading the way the barcode. Yes. Okay. That's what, Friday? Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Right. So the Career Expo here at the university will be October 4th. Thank you, Janelle. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's like what, 3 weeks away? 4 weeks? Weeks? Oh, that's next week. Yeah. I know we're in the 5th week and shift is on the 10th week of the semester.
Did everybody get the survey?
Jennifer, what's your shirt?
Right. So we have a hackathon coming up. Yeah. So on October 9th, 19th, and the 20th, we'll be having a hackathon, 24 hours. You're stuck in a room with us. And
You can leave, don't worry.
yeah, you can leave. You can leave. You can go home and sleep, whatever you need. And you basically, we were gonna let out some themes, like I believe. You want to talk more on that, Cass?
Those are announced day of, but for hackathons, they like there's always one like there's an overlaying theme where it's like several tracks that you can take. So examples of what a track might be, you can talk about like health. So anything that's health related, it can be physical health, mental health. You can make something for the gym. You can make something to make healthy meals. So just within these broad themes, you think of cool ideas with your team, or if you don't like anyone, you can do it on yourself. You can do it by yourself too.
Team.
Yeah, teams are fun. It's good to meet people, and it's less work if you work with other people, and more realistic to get your project done.
Opportunity to learn too.
Yeah, definitely. And then outside of doing the project, we will also have workshops going on during the event. And we also have workshops that we're doing prior to the event to equip you guys with the tools that you might need. So we are doing a Firebase workshop in 2 weeks. That one is to like set up the database from a website. So you'll have that in your little toolkit. And then the week after that, we are doing one on deployment. So that's actually sending your website to be live so it's accessible. And that's really, really helpful, especially for like your your resume. So that like recruiters, whenever they're like looking at your portfolio website or whatever, they can click on it and actually interact with your product. So overall, hackathons are really, really helpful. Good to meet people, good to grow, good to learn. And it's free and you get fed, and it's 24 hours. So you get to really like knock out that project really quick. And it's amazing on resumes.
Right. So now moving on to kind of like the after party. If you guys want to hang out, I recommend you guys do. You guys can stick around. We'll help you set up your LinkedIn or fix your resume. If not, you guys are cool to go. We're not going to go over anything else. So I appreciate you guys coming.